The Discovery. The salvage vessel, Scavenger's Dream, drifted through the asteroid field beyond Neptune, its sensors scanning for valuable metals and rare elements. Captain Maria Rodriguez had been running salvage operations for 15 years, but nothing had prepared her for what appeared on her screens that cold January morning in 2157. A massive shape emerged from behind a cluster of asteroids, its twisted metal frame catching the distant sunlight. The ship was unlike anything in Earth's databases, alien in every sense of the word. Its hull stretched nearly 2 kilometers long, with strange crystalline structures jutting from what remained of its superstructure. The vessel had been torn apart by something powerful, leaving gaping wounds that exposed its mysterious interior to the vacuum of space. Rodriguez called her crew to the bridge immediately. Her chief engineer Thomas Chen arrived first, followed by xenobiologist Dr. Sarah Mitchell and security officer Marcus Thompson. They all stared at the viewscreen in stunned silence as the full scope of their discovery became clear. The alien ship bore scars from an ancient battle. Massive blast marks covered its hull, and entire sections had been vaporized by weapons far beyond human understanding. Whatever had destroyed this vessel possessed technology that made Earth's most advanced weapons look like toys. The ship's design suggested it belonged to a race called the Kryn, based on similar wreckage found near Mars 5 years earlier. Though this was the first intact vessel humanity had encountered, Rodriguez made the decision to board the alien craft. She selected a team of 6 specialists, including herself, to explore the mysterious vessel. They suited up in the latest environmental protection gear and crossed the void between the 2 ships. As they entered through a massive breach in the hull, their lights illuminated corridors that hadn't seen life in perhaps centuries. The interior architecture was both beautiful and alien. The walls curved in impossible angles, covered with symbols that glowed faintly with residual energy. The Kryn had been tall beings, judging by the 8-foot doorways and control panels positioned high on the walls. Everything was built with a flowing organic design that made human technology look crude by comparison. Dr. Mitchell discovered the first significant find in what appeared to be a data storage center. Crystalline matrices lined the walls, each one containing vast amounts of information. She connected her portable quantum computer to one of the interfaces, and the translation algorithms began their work. What they uncovered changed everything. The Kryn had been an advanced civilization, peaceful explorers who had mapped thousands of star systems. Their technology focused on defense and communication rather than conquest, but something had found them, something they called the Void Hunters. These beings traveled between galaxies, consuming entire civilizations to fuel their endless expansion. The Kryn had fought valiantly, but were overwhelmed by the Hunters' superior numbers and adaptive technology. The most chilling discovery came from the ship's final logs. The Kryn captain had recorded a desperate message, knowing their civilization was doomed. They had detected the Void Hunters moving toward a young system with a small blue planet, showing signs of primitive life, Earth. The timestamp showed this message was recorded 800 years ago. The Kryn had died trying to draw the Hunters away from humanity's ancestors. Chen found something equally important in the engineering section. The Kryn's faster-than-light drive was based on principles human scientists had only theorized about. It folded space-time itself, allowing instantaneous travel across vast distances. Their weapon systems used controlled singularities, miniature black holes as ammunition. Their shields could deflect anything short of a direct nuclear blast, but it was Thompson who made the most crucial discovery. In what appeared to be a tactical planning room, he found detailed scans of Void Hunter technology. The Kryn had learned much about their enemy before falling. The Hunters used a hive mind system, with thousands of ships controlled by a single consciousness. They adapted to enemy tactics within minutes, making conventional warfare useless against them. The team spent 3 days cataloging everything they could find. They downloaded terabytes of data, collected technology samples, and documented every detail of the ship's construction. Rodriguez knew this discovery would change humanity forever. Earth had always wondered if we were alone in the universe. Now they knew we weren't, and that knowledge came with a terrible price. Back on Earth, the world's governments convened an emergency session. The evidence was undeniable. Somewhere out there, a force existed that had destroyed civilizations far more advanced than humanity, The Kryn sacrifice had bought Earth 8 centuries of peace, but there was no guarantee the Void Hunters wouldn't return. The decision was unanimous. Humanity would prepare for war. Every resource, every brilliant mind, every ounce of human determination would be focused on one goal: ensuring that when the Void Hunters came, Earth would be ready. The Kryn had given humanity a gift: their technology and knowledge. Now it was up to humans to use it. Project Phoenix was born from that decision. Hidden facilities across the solar system began reverse engineering Kryn technology. Scientists worked around the clock to understand the alien principles behind their advanced systems. Engineers started designing ships that combined human innovation with Kryn technology. Military strategists studied the tactical data, looking for weaknesses in the Void Hunter doctrine. The first breakthrough came from an unexpected source. A young programmer named Alex Park realized that the Void Hunter's hive mind, while powerful, had a critical flaw. It processed information sequentially, making decisions based on logical patterns. Humans, with their chaotic thinking and ability to make irrational choices, might be able to confuse the system. If humanity could be unpredictable enough, the Hunter's adaptation algorithms would struggle to keep up. Within 6 months, the first prototype ship was ready. The Vengeance, as it was named, was smaller than the Kryn vessels, but incorporated human modifications. Instead of one powerful ship, humanity built wolf packs, groups of smaller, faster vessels that could coordinate attacks while maintaining individual initiative. The weapons were modified too. Rather than pure energy weapons, humans added kinetic kill vehicles, nuclear mines, and even old-fashioned chemical explosives. The variety would make it harder for the Hunters to adapt. Dr. Mitchell made another crucial discovery while studying Kryn biological samples. The aliens had been working on a virus designed to disrupt the Void Hunters' organic components. While incomplete, human geneticists believed they could finish what the Kryn had started. It was a long shot, but every advantage might matter in the coming conflict. As Earth's new fleet grew in secret shipyards throughout the solar system, humanity also prepared psychologically. The knowledge that hostile aliens existed united the species like never before. Old conflicts were set aside. Resources that once went to fighting each other were redirected to the common defense. Humanity had found its purpose: survival. Rodriguez was given command of the first battle group, 5 ships built with hybrid technology. Her crew trained relentlessly, practicing tactics that went against every principle of conventional warfare. They learned to fight dirty, to use deception and misdirection to sacrifice individual ships for tactical advantage. It went against the Kryn's honorable warrior culture, but humans had never been bound by such constraints. The transformation of human society was remarkable. Within 2 years, Earth had gone from a fractured collection of nations to a united force preparing for the greatest challenge in its history. The Kryn sacrifice had given humanity the tools and knowledge needed to fight. Now humans would honor that sacrifice by becoming something the Void Hunters had never encountered: a species that refused to go quietly into the night. The Reckoning. 3 years after the discovery of the Kryn warship, humanity's preparation faced its ultimate test. Long-range sensors detected an anomaly near the Kuiper Belt, multiple objects moving in perfect formation at impossible speeds. The Void Hunters had found Earth. Admiral Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the newly commissioned Terra's Fury, flagship of Earth's first fleet. Around her, 37 ships held position, each one a testament to human ingenuity and determination. The vessels were ugly by Kryn standards, blocky, asymmetrical designs that prioritized function over form. But they were deadly. The Void Hunter fleet that emerged from fold space was everything the Kryn records had warned about. 50 sleek vessels, each one a perfect geometric shape that seemed to absorb light itself. They moved with unnatural precision, like a single organism with many bodies. Their initial scans of Earth's defensive fleet lasted only seconds before they began their approach. Rodriguez initiated humanity's first strategy: chaos. Instead of forming traditional battle lines, Earth ships scattered in seemingly random directions. Some accelerated toward the enemy, others retreated, and still others moved laterally. To the Void Hunter's hive mind, accustomed to logical military responses, the human behavior must have seemed insane. The confusion lasted only moments before the Hunters adapted, but those moments were crucial. Commander Jake Williams, leading a squadron of 4 attack vessels, executed the first strike. His ships launched a barrage of mixed weapons, nuclear missiles, kinetic rounds, and Kryn energy beams, all on different trajectories. The Void Hunter's shields, calibrated for energy weapons, struggled with the variety of attacks. 3 human ships were vaporized in the first minute of combat, but they had died executing their mission. As they were destroyed, they released clouds of metallic chaff and electromagnetic pulses that temporarily blinded the Hunter sensors. In that moment of confusion, Dr. Mitchell's biological weapon was deployed via modified missiles that penetrated the Hunter formation. The virus worked slowly at first, attacking the organic components that linked the Hunter ships to their hive mind. Individual vessels began showing microsecond delays in their responses. To humans, it was barely noticeable. To a hive mind that required perfect synchronization, it was catastrophic. Lieutenant Sophia Chang led the second wave of attacks. Her squadron specialized in hit-and-run tactics, using the modified Kryn fold drives to jump in, attack, and jump out before the Hunters could respond. It was exhausting for the human crews, requiring split-second decisions and perfect coordination, but it was exactly the kind of warfare humans excelled at. The Hunters began to adapt, their weapons becoming more accurate, their shields adjusting to the variety of human attacks. But then Captain Thompson executed humanity's most audacious plan. His ship, the Crazy Ivan, had been modified for a single purpose: to ram. Accelerating to near light speed using a combination of Kryn technology and human fusion rockets, Thompson's ship became a relativistic kill vehicle. The Hunters, for all their advanced technology, couldn't violate the laws of physics. The impact destroyed 3 of their vessels and created a debris field that disrupted their formation. Thompson's sacrifice marked a turning point in the battle. The virus had now spread throughout the Hunter fleet, and individual ships began showing erratic behavior. Some fired on empty space, others collided with their own vessels, and a few simply shut down entirely. The hive mind was fragmenting. Rodriguez seized the opportunity. She ordered all ships to concentrate fire on what appeared to be the Hunter command vessel, a massive sphere at the center of their formation. Every human weapon focused on that single target. Energy beams, nuclear warheads, and kinetic rounds converged on the sphere's shields. For a moment they held. Then, with a flash that briefly outshone the sun, they collapsed. The sphere's destruction sent a psychic scream through space that every human felt in their bones. The remaining Hunter vessels, cut off from their controlling intelligence, became dormant. Some self-destructed rather than be captured, but 12 vessels remained intact. Humanity had won its first battle against a galactic threat. The victory came at a terrible cost. 15 human ships were destroyed, with over 3,000 crew members lost. But Earth had proven something important. Humans could fight and win against technologically superior enemies. The combination of human unpredictability, adapted Kryn technology, and sheer determination had achieved what the honorable Kryn could not. In the aftermath of the battle, humanity's scientists studied the captured Hunter vessels. The technology was even more advanced than the Kryn's, based on principles that bent the laws of physics. But more importantly, they discovered that the Hunters were not invaders in the traditional sense. They were garbage collectors of the universe, programmed eons ago by a long-dead civilization to prevent younger races from developing dangerous technologies. The irony was not lost on Earth's leaders. The Void Hunters had been trying to protect the universe from species that might become threats. By defeating them, humanity had proven itself to be exactly the kind of species they were designed to stop. But humans had also shown something else: the ability to grow beyond their programming, to choose mercy over destruction. Rodriguez stood in the ruins of a Hunter ship, reading the final data logs. The Hunters had cataloged thousands of civilizations they had destroyed, each one deemed too dangerous to exist. But they had never encountered a species like humanity, one that could be both savage and compassionate, logical and chaotic, unified and individual. Earth's victory sent ripples throughout the galaxy. Other species, hiding from the Void Hunters for millennia, began to emerge. They came to Earth not as conquerors but as supplicants, seeking to understand how a young species had achieved the impossible. Humanity, barely out of its stellar cradle, had become the guardian of the galaxy. The Kryn warship that started it all was restored and turned into a monument orbiting Earth. Inside, a plaque bore a simple inscription: "To the Kryn, who died so we might live. Your sacrifice was not in vain," humanity remembers. But the story didn't end with victory. The defeated hunters had sent a signal before their destruction, a call to their creator's homeworld in a distant galaxy. Earth's long-range sensors detected massive energy signatures moving across the intergalactic void. The real test was coming. Rodriguez, now Fleet Admiral of Earth's combined forces, looked at the stars with grim determination. Humanity had learned to adapt alien technology, to fight with unprecedented tactics, and to unite as one species. They had become what the universe needed, not conquerors or destroyers, but defenders. The broken warship left behind by the Kryn had transformed humanity from a primitive species into the galaxy's unlikely guardians. As new allies joined Earth's growing coalition, bringing their own technologies and knowledge, Rodriguez knew the truth. The Void Hunters had been right to fear humanity, not because humans were destructive, but because they were adaptive. They took the best from every culture, every technology, every strategy, and made it their own. And when threatened, they became something more. Wrath incarnate, protecting those who could not protect themselves. The next battle would be harder. The enemy would be prepared for human tactics. But Rodriguez smiled grimly. Humanity had more surprises waiting. The salvage of a single broken warship had started Earth's transformation. Now, with the resources of multiple species and the determination that had carried humans from caves to stars, they would face whatever came next. Earth had learned the greatest lesson from the Kryn's sacrifice. Sometimes the smallest acts of courage could change the fate of galaxies. And humanity, for all its flaws, had courage in abundance.